is the mess homeowners, the city, and private contractors are dealing with today on Baum Street. A retaining wall collapsed around 3 o'clock this morning, smashing into 2 new homes on this street. The city of Cincinnati says homeowners were asked to evacuate those 2 properties. A city inspector also advised the homes above this landslide on Oregon Street to not use their decks. That includes City View Tavern. It has been shut down for the day and possibly days to come. The city says the wall was built and designed by Metropolitan Design and Development. The company says its wall did not fail, causing the landslide, but the land was sliding over the wall, and that's what caused it to crack. Reporting in Mount Adams, Emily Wood, WLWT News 5.
Only on WLWT, a bruised eye and ripped out hair. The mother of a knothole baseball player says she was actually attacked by the coach of the opposing team and his wife.
Yeah, so both are now charged with assault tonight. It all came after a baseball game in Batavia. WLWT News 5's Brian Hamrick has this exclusive story.
Well, it's a knothole baseball game. 12-year-olds, and out here on the field in Batavia, they were supposed to be learning lessons like sportsmanship. The one they took away from this had more to do with the court system. Georgetown and Batavia met on these fields, but when it was over, there'd be no winners.
They completely bruised up my eye. I have swelling through here.
Carissa Sloan says after the game, she was talking about how contentious it was on the phone when she was attacked by the opposing coach, Joseph Laugle, and his wife, Erin Laugle. Both are now charged with assault. Carissa says she took these pictures afterward of her bruised face and missing hair.
I did find out from a nurse I need to go to an ear throat specialist because they think they busted up my sinuses on this side.
We wanted to talk to the Laugles. Joseph answered the door and wouldn't talk on camera, but told us, "I didn't assault anybody." He says he was trying to break up the altercation involving the 2 women. The victim disagrees.
I just got pinned down by both of them and they were both hitting me.
Now the case that began on the baseball field goes to the court in Claremont County. And the victim tells us she has more doctor's appointments scheduled to determine how severe the damage is to her face. Brian Hemrick, WLWT News 5.
Now, we've also learned Joseph Laugle was a substitute teacher with Georgetown schools. He was told not to come back last November, but a reason was not given.
A man charged with the death of his wife in Middletown will remain behind bars now on a $1 million bond. Today, Bobby Nitz was arraigned on a murder charge and assigned a public defender. Kristen Nitz was found dead by her 11-year-old daughter at their home on Short Street last Sunday night. Police say Bobby Nitz had been fighting with his wife just before that shooting. Bobby Nitz was later found in Meigs County and arrested in this case. An employee of a fast food restaurant robbed, taking the night deposit to a Harrison bank. So here is new video just released to us from the robbery right outside the Main Source Bank on Harrison Avenue there. You can see the guy wearing a ski mask approach the woman, telling her to drop that deposit bag. When she didn't, he grabbed it from her. If you have any information about this robbery, asked to call Crime Stoppers. The number is 513-352-3040. Former UC police officer Ray Tensing returned to court today.
He wanted to see if Judge Leslie Giz would rule on 2 critical questions before his retrial on a murder charge. WLWT News 5's investigative reporter Todd Dykes is covering the Tensing trial for us again. Todd?
Yeah, Mike, one legal expert I talked to says she has more questions than answers tonight after today's hearing, not because Judge Giz delayed decisions on the motions currently on the table, but because no one's talking yet, at least not yet anyway, about other big issues that were part of Tensing's first trial. Ray Tensing's father and attorney walked with him into Judge Leslie Giz's courtroom today. They wanted to see if the judge had ruled on 2 motions in Tensing's retrial. In one, Stu Matthews asked that this T-shirt Tensing was wearing when he shot and killed Sam DuBose during a traffic stop be kept out of the retrial. In the second motion, Matthews asked for a hearing to challenge the qualifications of a video expert who testified for the state during Tensing's first trial. The judge made no decisions today, deciding instead to hold another hearing the day after jury selection began. weekends. That doesn't surprise Donietta Bailey with the Black Lawyers Association. What does surprise Bailey is the fact prosecutors have so far not filed any motions to try to keep information about marijuana in DuBose's car and about his criminal past out of the retrial. Similar motions were filed by the state ahead of the first trial.
But I think it's interesting that they didn't do it already. They did it last time. And so if we're doing a do-over, I feel like all those motions that were filed before the case started last time are up for rehash during this trial. A lot of people were hoping that when the new trial came, that those motions would be revisited with the new judge. And the fact that they're not even on the table is interesting.
Bailey notes there's still time for both sides to file a flurry of motions, but since attorneys in the case are under a gag order, there's no way to know when or if any additional legal request will be made. Now, I also asked Donietta Bailey if she thinks both sides can seat an impartial jury. She said she's just not sure at this point, but she said there needs to be more time to ask tougher questions of potential jurors. Reporting live downtown, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
All right, Todd, thanks for the update there. If you want to learn more about this upcoming trial and legal proceedings, the Black Lawyers Association of Cincinnati will be hosting a community forum tonight. Guest speakers include Judge Fanon Rucker and Councilwoman and attorney Yvette Simpson. The event will be held at the New Prospect Baptist Church at 6:30 this evening.
All right, remember this case from a month or two ago? A Good Samaritan actually pulls out a gun and shoots and kills somebody to help an officer. What
a prosecutor is now saying about her actions as an officer struggles with a man on the side of the road.
Between texting and talking on the phone, drivers seem to have a hard time focusing behind the wheel. Well, now there's growing concern over another phone accessory, earbuds. How they are posing new dangers out on the roads. Kev?
And talking about the roads, Mike, we've got some wet roads out there this evening as rain is beginning to overspread the area. It's not terribly heavy yet, but I'll let you know when it will get a little bit heavier and what to expect as we head into the second half of the week and maybe even your weekend. I have your full forecast coming up here in just a few. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5.
All of this happened on the side of the road in plain view of people driving by, and now the woman who shot and killed a man who was fighting with a conservation officer will not be charged.
So the officer responded to reports of a suspicious person along State Road 56 in Ohio County, Indiana, and when he tried to put 32-year-old Justin Holland in handcuffs, prosecutors say he tried to get that officer's gun. A woman who witnessed it all, witnessing that struggle, fearing for the officer's safety, shot Holland. Well, today prosecutors announced they will not pursue charges against that woman.
A state representative from Hamilton pleading no contest today to an OVI charge. In March, Wes Rutherford was found passed out in the drive-thru of a Liberty Township McDonald's. Police say he also had a loaded gun in his armrest. Weapons charges against him were dismissed, but his license has been suspended now for 6 months, along with his concealed carry permit. He will also pay a fine of just a little more than $1,000. Well, they are great for running or a workout, but now some people are using them while driving, and we're talking about those headphones and those earbuds.
Yeah, so police say that they could put your life or maybe someone else's in danger. WLWT News 5's Dan Griffin has more on the warning and what the law says.
Police say it's against the law to drive with both ears covered by headphones or earbuds, but some people do it anyway, and it might just be because they didn't know it was illegal.
Just takes a split second to get in an accident.
People driving and walking see close calls on the road every day, and they say they're seeing drivers wearing headphones and earbuds more and more.
If you have your earphones or headphones in and they're super loud, then you won't be able to hear any like sirens or if you need to stop for the police officers or ambulance.
Blue Ash police say the use of headphones and earbuds while driving is on the rise.
You know, we have UC over here, a lot of college students. And I definitely see the younger group with the earbuds in time to time.
Ohio law says drivers can only have one earbud or headphone in use. We saw drivers using what appeared to be both time after time. Officer Jason Swartwout says police can issue a misdemeanor citation and fine if they see you using earbuds or headphones while driving.
Not being able to hear your surroundings is a problem.
He says drivers using headphones or earbuds may not notice things around them.
The newer vehicles are designed to be quieter, and if you have earbuds in on top of that, you're certainly not going to hear an emergency vehicle until it's right on top of you almost.
That could mean you slow down an ambulance or put yourself in the path of a tragic crash. People we talked with believe the problem isn't going away.
I've been driving around recently. There's a lot of people doing it. It's a pretty regular thing, I'd say, at this point, but I definitely know that it causes a lot of problems.
Drivers and police agree. It's time to put the headphones and earbuds away.
Something could happen in a split second, you know? You just never know.
Police say it isn't often they stop people for these offenses because, quite frankly, there are bigger emergencies to get to, but they hope stories like these will make people pay a little more attention. Dan Griffin, WLWT News 5.